Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on into the Boulevard Home Game of the Week here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster and Ben Lindquist here with you as we bring you tonight's matchup. The Snow Canyon Warriors come on over to face off against Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. And the last time these two teams met up, it was fireworks. What's it going to be tonight? Welcome on into our pregame show built by Bucks Ace Hardware. Ben, this should be a pretty good game.
Well, yeah, and when you figure that that opener for Snow Canyon, when these two teams met the first time and Owen Mackey wins the game, they're actually down 2, and the coach draws up a three-pointer, and he wins with a three-pointer after Crimson had battled back there in the fourth quarter. You got to believe that Crimson has a score to settle, and for Snow Canyon, you're really, both of these teams are playing for positioning, but right now Snow Canyon in second place is really playing to secure and fight off the other teams in the region.
Absolutely. Both of these teams are, they're playing well. It's kind of right there in the middle of the pack. And games like this matter a lot. It comes down to it, down to games like this to see, hey, who's going to be the higher seed? Maybe this could be the difference maker between a home court advantage or not, right? You never know with these kinds of things, with these games, where these teams will end up. So it should be a fun one tonight. And I'm excited. I think these are two different teams than they were a month ago when they matched up last.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head, Caden, which is these teams are fighting for positioning. The RPI has never been more important than it is this year since Crimson's been in existence. Last year there were only 13 teams for the last couple of years in 4A for these teams. Now there's over 20. And so making sure that you can grab one of those top 8 seeds has become more critical than ever, because that gives you a first round bye, because this year it's going to be different. There's actually going to be 2 games before they actually get to Utah Valley for the quote-unquote state tournament.
Right, yeah, we're going to be seeing, kind of like we are now, we will see a Wednesday and Friday game when the playoffs hit. Wednesday is the first round, second round is on a Friday, and then we finally get to the tournament, as you mentioned. Yeah. So it is different this year.
And that 8 seed will become so important because it gives you a chance to not have to worry about Wednesday. You get to prepare for Friday at home and get to see what you're going to really, have another chance to see that team before you see them on Friday. And that's going to be really important this year. I just really believe that. And I think we really could see in Region 9 4 top 8 seeds, depending on how the second half of the region goes. And I think those top 4 are going to be Dixie, Snow Canyon, and Crimson, and Pineview. Not in that order, by the way, although Dixie at the top.
Yeah, Dixie at the top is really no question at this point, as they've worked their way through the entire region schedule once and came out without a single loss. So can they do it again is the question. They're taking on Hurricane tonight, who is one of those teams that's sitting at the bottom of the region. Tough break for them throughout this season as they've continued to work on trying to build up some of their athletics over there. And then Cedar and Desert Hills, the other matchup going on tonight. So if we get updates of those games, of course, we're going to be updating you as well as those games go on with our Nets on Fire scoring updates. So with that said, we're going to step aside for just a bit, take a break here inside of our pregame show built by Bucks Ace Hardware. Stick around, more coming up. We'll have our keys to the game and so much more here on the Fan Sports Network.
House of Jump is Southern Utah's only indoor trampoline park and your only place to jump, dunk, and dodge. Head on over to our house, the House of Jump.
Remember when Down East was all scratch and dent furniture, your go-to for dorm rooms, kids' rooms, and first homes? Well, the times have changed and Down East has changed with you. Down East is proud to offer our beautiful collection of high-quality furniture designed to elevate your space and make a statement. From stylish sofas and dining tables to cozy bedroom collections. If you're starting fresh or looking to upgrade, Down East has everything you need to create the home you'll love.
As multiple generation builders exclusively in Southern Utah, Devin, Craig, and James Sullivan of S&S Homes were born in St. George and have been building exceptional homes since 1980. S&S Homes has 8 neighborhoods with homes for all stages of life. If you're ready to take a tour of one of our move-in ready homes, visit sshomes.info.
Interacting with the patients is one of the things that I enjoy the most. If we can understand what the patient's looking for, then we can help them to accomplish their goals. And ultimately, we'd like to make them happy.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
Back at it here in your Boulevard Home Game of the Week. Boulevard Home, making your house a home for 50 years here in Southern Utah. They've been a great sponsor of Region 9 athletics all season long, and we couldn't be more grateful to have them as one of our partners. Ben, let's talk about it. Let's get into kind of the nitty-gritty here. Let's start off with the visiting team, Snow Canyon Warriors. You know, they have a lot that they're playing for right now, and it all's kind of working through Owen Mackey.
Absolutely, and when you've got a D1 talent like Owen Mackey, it's a good thing to do as a coach to run it through him. He's a guy that really is interesting because in that first matchup between these two teams, he really kind of got a slow start. And I don't mean a slow start like he was struggling, just in the scoring department. And what he really did is early on was able to find guys, as Crimson did a good job in the one-on-one matchup, but he was able to find guys weak side with a swing pass out of a double team. And that's really where Snow Canyon jumped out on Crimson, was with those 8 first half three-pointers, and I'll bet 6 of them were set up by Owen Mackey.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely his kind of gameplay is, you know, he can create a shot just as good as anybody, but he also can find the open guy as well. And this offense works through him in so many different ways. You know, and then you have someone like Trey Kelch, who brings just a lot of energy to this team.
Yeah, they're really a well-balanced team. I mean, I think, look, we talk a lot about Owen Mackey because of his exceptional talent, but they're really a team of shooters. They've got some good size on the bigs inside with Aloha and some other guys. And then you got, of course, you got the shooting on the outside. Those are guys that you're going to see not afraid to shoot it. And when they get the rotation, it's kind of one of those things like in those great, you know, NBA teams where you got a guy like Jordan and so forth, where you look, you know, like Steve Kerr and the Paxtons and guys like that, who, when they know that the ball, they're going to get 6 or 7 wide open shots a game, and they know what their job is, and they're confident in it. And that's what you really see from the Snow Canyon team, is guys that know that they're going to get some open looks because of the dominance of Owen Mackey.
You're exactly right. On to the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. They have seen a lot of success through their big guy, Sean Feltz.
Well, you talk a guy who's on a heater from a scoring standpoint. I mean, he goes one week where he goes 39, 37. He follows that up against Dixie with 25. Kyle Lemke bests him with 27 in that game, including a couple of fantastic alley-oops, one off of a bounce dribble and another one in transition. But that's a guy who is getting comfortable with his spots, knowing that if he runs the floor, he's going to get open looks, knowing where to go on the court to get, again, to that sweet spot. He loves that right hand. This is a guy that is not going to shoot a left-hand hook. He is going to find that left shoulder, and he's going to turn and is going to let it go with his right hand every single time. Sometimes he'll turn to his right shoulder and turn and shoot it with his right hand as well, but he is so right hand dominant. And most guys, you'd say, well, let's force him to his opposite shoulder. With him, you can't quite do that because of his length. It's so unusual. He's able to get his shot off going left shoulder and right shoulder.
Right. And one of the guys that I've been really impressed with on the defensive side has been Trevor Taylor. He's always got a hand in a passing lane. He's getting tipped shots, block shots here or there. He's been a guy defensively that I've really been impressed with so far this season.
Yeah, a good call. An underrated defender and an underrated passer. Some great passing from him all season long. And a guy who's really identified his role, right? He'll make an open shot. He knows that he's got to stop usually the other team's best guy, and he's not afraid of that challenge. And a guy who really, like, he does a great job finishing around the hoop as well. A game winner against Pineview, and also the guy that passed the ball to the game winner against Desert Hills that Drake Carroll finished in that overtime win here at Crimson about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's break it down even further. Let's hop on into our Team D Auto Sales keys to the game. Team D Auto Sales, you can visit them online at teamdautosales.com or at 488 East St. George Boulevard. Let's check it out, Ben. Keys to the game. Start with Snow Canyon.
Well, for Snow Canyon, we talked about the big fella, Sean Feltz, who is averaging over 30 points his last 3 games. He's a guy who had some difficulty. You know, they have some size in the Snow Canyon front court, and that's going to be a challenge. And can they get him in foul trouble? Can they, you know, really bring that double team and get him to make some mistakes? That will be the top thing to watch from Crimson's standpoint, because he is their leading scorer and a guy who you rely on for a lot of points. And then you move over to the three-point shooting. Snow Canyon, we talked about it. They came out 8 first-half threes. Crimson was able to finally contain that in the second half, but then Mackey went to work from all over the court until that final dagger of a three-pointer. But in this one, will they be able to find those 2 or 3 other guys to make those open shots? I think the number of the night for them is really, if they can get to that 8 3-point for the game, I think they'd take first half, but if they can get to that 8 for the game, that's something to watch. That could be a real difference maker. And lastly, finding creative ways to involve Mackey, right? It sounds a little ridiculous because he's such a talented player, but he's a guy that you've got to run some sets for. You got to make sure that he doesn't go long stretches without taking shots. And even if that double comes, he's a guy that you give him a little bit of leeway to take 1 or 2 contested or double team shots just because he's such a great shot maker.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great points there, and I like what you're saying about being able to create his own shot. He's very good at that, something that is going to be looked forward to on the defensive side from the other side, right, is to just try to contain
Absolutely.
that. Other things, keys to the game, what else
Well,
we
then
got?
you move over to Crimson Cliffs, and it's limit turnovers. You know, you and I did the Dixie game Friday night, and Crimson, who has struggled with this the last couple of years, actually has, after a rough patch the first of the season, as they were trying to figure out identities and lineups, got to the point they were actually taking care of the ball really, really well.
Absolutely.
And that really hurt them against Dixie. Man, they came with some really uncharacteristic, unforced, I would call, turnovers, and Dixie capitalized. And then, so if they can limit those, I think they're really going to be in a good position. Then you move on to feed Feltz, and man, you feed him again. He is so dynamic on that block. You've got to feed him, and you can't let him go long stretches without the ball. And then lastly, disciplined defense. You can't leave guys so wide open. This is a Snow Canyon team that can make shots. If they can do those things, I love Crimson in this game. And hey, if Snow Canyon can impose their will, I like their shot in this game too.
Absolutely. There are your Team DL sales keys to the game. And it looks like we are just about ready to get underway with our national anthem and presentation of the colors. So with that, we're going to step aside. When we come back, it'll be game time, and we'll get to those House of Jump starting lineups on the other side of the break here on the Fan Sports Network. Stick around.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
You could wander around a warehouse store forever and never find the one thing that could make all the difference. A helpful face? Now that's something to consider. Everything your local Bucks Ace stands for is written on our faces. Welcoming, neighborly, knowledgeable. When you're in need of a helpful face, visit one of our 3 Southern Utah locations.
Here at Custom Lighting Solutions, we provide the perfect answer to lighting your home and property.
No matter the occasion, you can trust our product to make your house fun and beautiful.
Red Rock Real Estate has over 200 professional realtors in the St. George area that specialize in the local market. Whether you're buying your dream home, looking for an investment property, or want to sell your home for the highest amount, the Red Rock Real Estate team is here to assist you. Get started now by visiting redrockrealestate.com.
Need an appliance or two? AWP's got you. Check out the remodeled expansive showroom, highlighting the cafe series with colors like matte black, matte white, and modern glass. Make your kitchen stand out. Come see the local boys at AWP across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart.
When it comes to your child's teeth, Dr. Cody and his experienced staff at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry are game changers. So when it comes to checkups, a toothache, or any problem with your kid's teeth, call experienced veteran Dr. Cody Johnson at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, 628-0511.
Nets on Fire is the place to hoop in Southern Utah. Elevate your game with group or individual training with elite coaching. Hustle to netsonfire.org to learn more and see why so many rising stars hoop at Nets. Nets on Fire, building champions on and off the court.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Hello? Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
We love giving back to our community, and over the years, we have provided vehicles for families in need, supported local charities, and helped train our first responders. Dealer Collision, your place for collision repair.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bryant Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
The Fan Sports Network is your home for local sports. Catch The Drive with Devin Dixon from 7 to 9, and From the Bleachers with Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave from 4 to 6. Plus, Utah Tech and high school sports live on the radio and streaming on the fansportsnetwork.com.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the Boulevard Home Game of the Week. Here from Crimson Cliffs High School. Snow Canyon Warriors, Crimson Cliffs, Mustangs about to get underway, and let's get in to our House of Jump starting lineups. And I'm excited for this. Maybe we can see some dunks as well, get that House of Jump dunk going as well.
I think there's a strong possibility that tonight we're going to get that dunk for sure.
Let's get to it. Starting lineups for Snow Canyon. Number 2, Dre Smith. Number 3, Damon Entz. Number 22, Trey Kelsch. Number 24, Owen Mackey. And rounding it out, number 30, Owen Aloha. On the Crimson Cliff side, as the lights go out, we'll have number 12, Drake Carroll. Number 15, Noah Marsden. Number 22, Sean Feltz. Number 23, Trevor Taylor. And number 24, McKay Lindquist.
And Caden, as I recall, it seemed like Campbell started the last matchup between these two. And so I think Aloha's really come on, but I think those are two guys that are pretty interchangeable. And it's going to be a guard Feltz by committee all night long between those two guys. Something worth noting tonight is that, I'm hearing that maybe Scoop is getting close.
All right, I like that.
The former starting point guard earlier in the season who broke his foot. I think he's itching to come back. That'll be something that's interesting to watch here the next couple of weeks is, can he get back on the practice court? Can he get back into that condition? Certainly, I think one of the better on-ball defenders in Region 9, if not all the state.
And one of those guys that's been missed here for Crimson Cliffs. And they've done quite well without him. They've been able to hold their own. But when you start talking playoffs coming up here sooner than later, it'd be nice to have him get a few reps before the playoffs get rolling. And he can get back into that lineup. Just about ready to get underway again here for the House of Jump. Starting lineups wrapping up. And tip-off coming up shortly. Want to thank some of our great sponsors make this possible. Of course, Buck's Ace Hardware bringing you the pregame show. Best selection of guns, ammo, barbecues, lawn garden. Think Bucks, 3 Southern Utah locations. I also want to thank Red Rock Real Estate. It's a real estate focus on you from land to luxury. Visit them at redrockrealestate.com.
I'll tell you what, 2 things that are really underrated about Region 9 high school basketball is the national anthems. We've had Jimi Hendrix-style guitar. We've had Whitney Houston-style vocals. And the other thing is the lights and the theatrics in these starting lineups. I think they've outdone a couple colleges.
They definitely rival many other institutions, and we'll throw colleges into that definition.
I think
as well.
every team should have one of those massive American flags that comes down at center court, like Dixie and Cedar I know have them. I think even Hurricane has it. Those are pretty spectacular.
Nice. Those are pretty nice. As we are about to get underway, we have Crimson Cliffs in the white jerseys, Snow Canyon in the navy. Owen Aloha for Snow Canyon will be jumping against Sean Feltz for Crimson Cliffs. And here we go. Tip goes to the Warriors.
I think that's the 4th straight tip that Sean Feltz has lost.
You'd think for someone of his stature, he would be a little more on ball to get some of those. But either way, Snow Canyon gets it. Starting off here, it's a missed 3. And quickly the other way, a little finger roll in for the basket.
And I know the
Sean
crowd wanted the dunk there, but that was the right move. I think if he had put it on the deck, I think either they would have got a foul or a contested shot there.
On the other side now, the Warriors. Kelch looking inside for Aloha. He's picked up by Taylor. Aloha loses a bit of a handle on it, goes out of bounds off of the foot of
It's like off
McKay,
of Lindquist there,
and it will be Warrior basketball.
And so far, it looks like we're going to see a little bit of Feltz on Mackey, and we'll see how disruptive he can be. This is the play they actually ran for the game winner. It looks like a little bit of an option out of it, though, as we see Aloha dip down there and grab the bucket on Taylor.
Good basket by Aloha. Mustangs start off with Lindquist. Passing it over to Taylor, looking to get inside, and does, to Carroll for the easy layup.
And I like that, because every game we've seen for the last 6 or 7 games, it's been the first option has been Feltz on the block-to-block, and they identify a mismatch, and they get Carroll on the post-up, and he has the advantage.
Now with the Warriors. Entz puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded by Aloha, puts it back up and catches the rim. Good for 2. Aloha again, keeping it tied up at 4. Taylor picked up by Mackey over to the side to Lindquist, looking to get it down low to Feltz, and does.
You can see that double team's coming pretty quick.
Missed shot off the back of the rim by Feltz. And here comes David Entz in the Warriors. Over to Mackey.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some zone. This is going to be a really great up and under there. And we haven't seen Sean Feltz in trouble as Mackey draws the foul there on him. We haven't seen him in foul trouble much this season.
Not too much yet. See if we can check it out on the Holbrook Asphalt replay here. I think we might be caught a little too early, but again, a good move here against Feltz. He goes up and under, and the free throw is good.
I think on that one, Mackey is so dynamic. He can step back, he can reject the screen, he can come off shoulder to shoulder hard. I think on that one, you just switch it with Taylor. Make it easy.
Second free throw good as well. Snow Canyon leads 6-4. 6:05 left on the clock as well. Feltz with the ball up high. Dumps it off to Taylor. Taylor on the drive. Loses it. Here come the Warriors. Kelch. Pump fakes. Crosses it all the way across the gym. And stepping on the line was Dre Smith. So it'll be Mustang basketball.
And you can see how Snow Canyon's getting to that three-point line early. They don't want to make the same mistake they made last time.
Drake Carroll brings it across. Over to Marsden. Marsden in the bright yellow shoes. I like
He
those.
likes those bright yellow shoes. And Sean's not far behind him with the reverse Grinches. And that's the move that I'm talking about right there, is that it's a strange move to go right shoulder, right hand. It works if you have the height and length.
It's a quick move. I like it. As Mackey, nowhere to go on that one. Maybe a tipped ball even by Feltz. Lindquist with the ball on the left wing. Over into the corner, tipped away by Aloha, and it's into the hands of Marsden. Lindquist with the wide open 3, and no good as it rattles the rim. Quickly on the other side here are the Warriors, and Aloha with the easy lay-in for 2.
And, you know, we talked about Crimson being the threat in the paint. It's really been Snow Canyon so far inside.
Aloha with 6 of the 8 for the Warriors.
And, you know, it's a bit of a zone from what I can see. It's almost like a matchup zone where you're just not leaving Sean, and then you're using that weak side guy to come double quick, and then the other guys are, 3 guys are guarding 4.
Foul's called. Still Barwin checks in. Still Barwin with the ball up top, hands it over to Taylor. Carroll stops, puts it up. Barban saves it. Lindquist saves it from a backcourt violation, and now here's Barban on the wing. No good for 3.
It actually looked good from here. It's just a little bit long and left. Great athletic move there to save it and get it back out.
Deep three, Damon Ensign, it's good for your first Cache Valley Bank three-pointer of the night.
And again, we talked about it. You just can't you have to go over screens in those situations, or you have to switch them.
11-6 ball game here. Snow Canyon leads as Phelps drives in. There's nothing there. Aloha with the defensive move. On the fast break, it's the Warriors. Beautiful play, beautiful passing, and it's Trey Kelsch with the basket.
And I think the refs missed a call there. It's just, you could almost hear the contact and if you couldn't see it. But that's how the refs have called it. They've called it pretty physical the last game. You've got to make an adjustment. You have to get back on defense. You can't spend 5 seconds talking to the ref about it.
Ball inside to Phelps. Phelps puts up the hook shot. Rolls around the rim, no good. Rebounded by the Warriors. 13-6 on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard with 3:20 left to play in the first quarter. Smith kicks it out to Mackey. Mackey dribbling into the elbow, puts up the shot. It's good for two.
And this Snow Canyon team looks awfully focused. Crimson looks a step slow right now.
Carroll on the drive with the left hand, going up against Kelts. Kicks out to Barbin. Barbin over to Lindquist. Lindquist pulls the mid-range. That's no good from 15. Mackey now on the other side, hands off to Aloha. Aloha nearly losing the handle, picks it back up, and he kicks back out.
And really, Caden, for Crimson to get in this game, they're going to have to do it on the defensive end.
Three by Mackey is good. Another Cache Valley Bank three-pointer.
You see how effortless he makes the game of basketball look. It looked like he was just dribbling it, and before you know it, he's instantly, oh boy.
On turnover. Here comes Kelsch. He slows down, hands it off to Smith. Smith with the right hand from the left side for two. Phelps on the other end, quickly, no good. It's rebounded by Smith.
And it just looks like a little bit of contact again, but they're not calling that. You've got to maybe take that dribble, gather, and go up strong. Make it easy for the ref, especially in a game like this.
Now Smith up top over to Mackey. And Kelsch. Again, the Warriors keeping it slow here. 10 left to go on the shot clock. Now 7. Mackey with the ball in his hands takes the deep three. No good. Off the back of the rim. It's rebounded by Carroll. And here come the Mustangs. Carroll on the drive. And the whistle comes.
You see how good Crimson is when they get out in transition, but transition is all set up by defense. If you can't get the stops, if you can't get some good things to happen defensively, it makes it hard to get into your strong parts of your game. And I think Coach Murdoch is saying, hey, look, we need a spark at this point. Let's get some fresh bodies in there, and let's see if we can create some momentum, because when you're down 14, and really at this point it's been a 16-2 run, you got to do something, right?
Yep, Noah Nelson is checked in, as well as Jaden Eaton. And up top with it, Nelson kicks it over to Eaton. Down low to Phelps. He dumps it off to Barbin. Nothing there. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Snow Canyon basketball. Couple of substitutions as well for Snow Canyon as Reggie Mackey has come in, as well as Carter Campbell.
Reggie Mackey, of course, Owen's little brother, sophomore guard.
And losing a footing there was Owen Mackey, and they pick him up for a travel call.
Yeah, I don't, man, that was weird. I almost worried maybe he had rolled his ankle. Thank goodness he's okay, but it looks like he just kind of got moved and bumped and slipped.
45 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Carroll taking it over to the right side, hands off to Barbin. Barbin looking back to Eaton. Now Phelps finds Eaton, streaking to the basket, off the ball, no good. Rebounded by Campbell. Still in the ball, Marsden, and a foul is called on the ground.
Great hustle there by Noah Nelson, who is an energy guy. He said it, just kind of snuck in that little passing pocket. And hard to believe that after, being 4-4 in the first quarter, it's 20-6 as it'd be great if Crimson could get a bucket here to get it to 12 and have a little bit of momentum heading into the second.
Barban with the ball up top, 25 seconds left to go. No shot clock. Carroll dribbling it out up top by the logo. 11 seconds. Gets a couple of picks. Eaton over to Nelson. Inside Carroll. 8 feet out is no good. The heat from half court. Not there by Mackey. That'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Your score, 20-6. Snow Canyon leads through the first quarter. It's been all Warriors so far through this first quarter. We'll be back with more on the other side here on the Fan Sports Network.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Ciao, freshly baked bread piled with Italian-style meats. Hey, hand-sliced veggies. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yeah. So what if I am? Jimmy John's. Order online or on the app.
Own property and want to rent it? Then you need the right team with 11 years of local experience, a staff of over 25 employees, and a 4.9 Google rating. Aim to maximize your rental income and find quality tenants while keeping turnover low to increase your revenue and truly maintain your property. Learn more at redrockpropertymanagement.com.
Need an appliance or two? AWP's got you. Check out the remodeled expansive showroom, highlighting the cafe series with colors like matte black, matte white, and modern glass. Make your kitchen stand out. Come see the local boys at AWP across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart.
Into the second quarter we go here on the Fan Sports Network inside your Boulevard home game of the week. Don't forget about the Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert. See if we can get 55 on the board and get you that first 5 ounces free to Yogurtland after the game, courtesy of Holbrook Asphalt. Ball tipped around and inside with it is Taylor. Puts the brakes on, gets a guy off his feet, no good though. And on the other side, Kelsch with the baseball pass, it's good for 2.
A great job of looking up the court by Mackey. As you can see, he can do it in different ways on the pass and scoring. As we finally see that basket, again, you got to make. Okay, and this happens a lot. You got to fake a pass to make a pass. Post entry is all about patience and the setup to what you're trying to do. You can't telegraph those in and just throw it because you have a big guy. You got to be patient.
Campbell with the ball down low, going up against Taylor. Creates some separation. Good move. It's in.
And Snow Canyon right now really can do no wrong. They've obviously identified that Crimson likes to block shots. Give a guy a little head fake, go up and under, and it'll be pretty easy.
Down low now, Sean Feltz going up against Campbell. Pushes the shot up, there's nothing there. The Snow Canyon crowd lets him hear it. Reggie Mackey swings it over to Kelsch on the right side. Now up top is Campbell. Entz.
And they're going to have a mismatch down here on the block. Bring a double
Cross
team,
side.
and this is what hurt them. Oh.
Big bump, and they called the offensive foul.
Okay.
Again, we talked about the officials letting them play through some contact. That's one where they just weren't going to let that one slide.
We say it all the time, the block charge is the hardest call in high school, college, and pro. You get a little bit of help at the next levels because of the restricted area, but in high school, it's a judgment call, and sometimes it's closer than others.
Lindquist with the ball up top, swinging it over to Murdoch. Down low now, Feltz. Finds Taylor, no, tipped away.
And this is, you have to move, right? When you have a big guy like that, you can't dump it in and just stand. You either have to basket cut like Trevor Taylor did there too, or you have to screen away and relocate. If you stand, you make it easy to guard everywhere on the court.
24-8, Snow Canyon leads here in the second with 6:10 left on the clock here in the first half of play. Lindquist, he'll take the 3 off the back of the rim, no good. Tipped by Feltz. Back in for 2.
And you see how critical Feltz is when he is active, not just on the offensive end, but on the defensive end and the rebounding.
Mackey up top. They've got Sean Feltz guarding Mackey as well. They want that length on him as he takes the 3. It's no good and rebounded by Nelson.
And this is where they're at their best, in transition.
Taylor pulls up the foul line jumper and rattles it in for 2.
That's one of his sweet spots. He does a great job with those elbow junctions, and finally they get some offensive output to equal in just 2.5 minutes what they did in the entire first 8 minutes of the game. 24-12, 5:21 left. We might have a game here.
Mackey drives in, dumps it off to Aloha. Aloha gets Feltz off his feet and gets it in for 2.
You can see how capable Mackey is as a passer and a scorer.
Murdoch swings it up to Taylor, down low, Feltz, and the contact by Aloha. You know, Aloha's kind of been draped all over Feltz all night long. They haven't called it too much. They've just called it good defense, but they get him on that one.
Well, and one of the areas that Sean could, really develop is getting a little lower. Again, when you're that big and tall, it's easy to, just kind of stand there and hope that they throw it to you. But you got to get low like he is right now. See, and show him a hand. And I think they're going to call another foul here in just a minute as Aloha and him are really mixing it up.
It's tipped away by Mackey. Mackey on the fast break. Taylor coming after him, and he dunks it down. Oh, boy, Owen Mackey. Put that in the highlight reel. Swinging it into the corner now. Murdoch drives the baseline. Kicks it out. Lindquist corner 3. Rattles it, no good. Quick outlet for the Warriors. Smith goes up strong and is fouled by Taylor. Check out that Holbrook Asphalt replay on the Owen Mackey dunk. What a beautiful move there by Mackey.
The momentum just seems to be screaming out loud in favor of Snow Canyon. You can see they're doing it at all levels. They're doing it down in the paint, they're doing it in the mid-range, and they're doing it in transition. They're getting the ball out quick. Crimson is loafing back on defense. This is a game that'll get way out of hand if they don't dig in, sprint back on defense, hustle to the offensive and defensive glass, and do the little things to get back into the game as we see this thing potentially stretched to 18 right here. And Caden, I wouldn't have expected this. I just didn't. I thought this first half was going to be more about Crimson on their home court. And right now, they're going to have to really fight and claw to get back into this thing.
Absolutely. Both free throws from Dre Smith are good. And that takes the Warriors up to 30.
And this is where I can, it's like sometimes it's good to mix it up and throw a zone in there, or to, press on made baskets or made free throws. Just to try something and get something disruptive. Get the Snow Canyon team out of their comfort zone.
Carroll inside, kicks it out, back to Carroll. No, it's tipped out of his hands and into the hands of
And this is what I'm
Warriors.
talking about. They're looking for calls. They're looking for other things. Jogging back as Snow Canyon makes it look way too easy as we see this thing pushed 32-12 for Snow Canyon with just under 4 in the second.
Carroll looking for a pick from Taylor. Drives in with the left hand, kicks it out. 3 taken is good
and
by Murdoch.
Patient execution there. Travis Murdoch's a great three-point shooter, a guy that scored 40 in a JV game this year. He's a guy that if you leave him space, he likes his odds and is confident.
Driving in is Smith, and Murdoch will foul him there. And again, Dre Smith heads to the line.
And you can see the swagger of this Snow Canyon team right now. Okay, and they just look comfortable with this lead, and I don't think that much is going to slow them down except for defensive stops and a couple of momentum-turning plays on offense for Crimson.
As that one goes in for the Fabulous Freddy's free throw, the transitions, the transition defense for the Mustangs just hasn't been there. They've been able to get down court and get some layups going.
And really like full court passes, just not hustling back, not stopping the basketball. Those are things that can get you beat by 20.
Another couple of free throws there by Dre Smith. He's got 6 so far in this game. Lindquist with the left hand, pulls up straight away 3, and gets that one to drop.
And I like that because he missed his first 3 or 4. And as a shooter, you have to decide, look, if I'm open, I have to shoot it and shoot it confidently.
Foul called down low. That'll go against
Looks like it's against Marsden. I think Marsden and Coach Murdoch are saying, I think that's the way they're bodying Big Sean Feltz down there. We'll take that call, but just call it both ways.
These are important minutes right now with Feltz on the bench. Carter Campbell gets the ball off the inbound, hands it off to Mackey. Mackey picked up by Taylor. Taylor tips it away, but into the hands of Kelsch.
And I don't think we've had any turnovers for Snow Canyon. I think we've had 4 or 5 for Crimson.
Here comes the Mustangs after a missed shot there and nearly turning it over there, but a reach-in foul.
This is an important stretch for Crimson as they're down 16 right now. They've got Feltz on the bench. They've got 2 threes back-to-back to get 6 quick points. Can they close this thing down to 8 to 10 by halftime? Then, I think we saw last time, then you got yourself a ball game.
You do, absolutely. Taylor sets inbound, gets it in to Murdoch. Now hands it off to Carroll.
And this is kind of an unfamiliar lineup. We haven't really seen this lineup. And this will be the 3rd 3, and it is to get it to a 13-point game. Warriors 34, Crimson 21, 2:30 left in the second, Caden. This is a little more of what we expected.
It feels like the Mustangs have finally taken the lid off the basket here, and they're starting to get some shots to drop as Kelsch drives inside. He has a lane, and that's good for 2.
And this is something that high school defenders just don't quite do well enough, is keeping a guy in front of you. And then you got to rely on your teammate to be in help to help on those drives.
Taylor ball left side, inside now Murdoch goes up against the double team. Shot's no good, it's rebounded by Campbell.
And we got it to 15, 2 minutes left. Again, can they get it down to 10, 8? I think that's the magic number.
Mackey steps back, dumps it down low to Campbell. Campbell goes up strong with it, and that's good.
And I don't think you'll see Sean Feltz last on the bench much longer. I think you're just waiting for the emotion here, and it looks like he's ready to stand up. Yes, indeed, yeah. There he is.
Well, the coach might have said, hold up for just a little bit. Carroll, he'll take the 15-footer. That's no good. A little long, and that'll be Warrior ball.
A little, again, when you're struggling on offense as a team, it's easy to want to force those, but you got a little bit of an advantage on the perimeter play, even with Sean Feltz on the bench. So
and now like Feltz coming back in.
And we got Sean Feltz back in, and we have Noah Nelson back in, who is a little bit of a defensive specialist. He's certainly known to disrupt. But 17-point game. We talked about it getting down to that 10-point. They're going to have to do something here this last minute and a half to really get set up for their second half comeback. And if you're Snow Canyon, you're thinking, man, let's push this thing to 20-22 and put these guys out of their misery in the first half.
1 minute and 22 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. It's Owen Mackey taking it back up top to Kelsch.
And it looks like they're in a little bit of a zone here now. That or they're just switching everything.
The defense is definitely moving around a little bit here. Down low now is Iloa. He gets the shot up. That's no good. Gets his own rebound off of a tipped ball and loses it.
Sean is leaking out.
And here's Sean. He's ready for the dunk. There it is. Sean Feltz.
And a great outlet by Trevor Taylor. But Sean's got to stay in there and rebound that first one. You're the biggest guy in the court. Get in there and rebound that basketball. You'll get dunks.
It's so easy to want to cherry pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to get that nice, easy transition basket. Inside is Aloha with the ball on the ground, and it's going to be tipped out of bounds.
Okay, so we've got 38-23, 15-point game. I think that, again, 8, 10, 12 is kind of the number you're looking for the second half.
Crimson basketball, and I'll say this, Snow Canyon's not too happy about that. I think they thought it went off the hands of Taylor.
And I think everyone else is thinking that it was a travel.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think maybe that's what the ref was thinking
maybe
too.
Maybe the ref said,
travel. Let me
this
see.
This is the makeup call. Yep. Noah Nelson up against Trey Kelsch, and Trey Kelsch picks up the block.
And as physical as this game has been, that's only the 4th team foul in the second quarter. We certainly didn't even get close to it in the first quarter of getting that 5-foul double bonus. But this would be something to watch. 18 seconds left. Man, a 1 foul. If you can pick up a foul, you get 2 freebies.
Absolutely. 18 seconds on the clock. It's 38-23 on the Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard. Mustangs with the ball. Here's Taylor. Set to inbound, gets it into Nelson. Noah Nelson with 15. Takes it up top by the logo.
An important possession here, Caden.
10 seconds left to go. Nelson to the left side. Swings it back over to Lindquist up top. 5 seconds to get it down low to Feltz. Feltz puts up the shot. That's not there. Taylor with the putback at the buzzer.
We might not know how critical that basket is because it gives them a little bit of momentum. 38-25 there as we look at the Holbrook replay. Great athletic, acrobatic finish there for Taylor. And it's a 13-point game after it looked like Snow Canyon was going to push this thing into the 20s.
And again, score 38-25 at the end of the first half of play. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's the Rally Stop halftime show. Stick around with us here on the Fan Sports Network inside of your Boulevard Home Game of the Week.
Scooter's Coffee and Hurricane is the best way to start your day or get you through your day. From breakfast sandwiches to cinnamon rolls to amazing smoothies and, of course, coffee. Anytime is a good time to sip and smile Scooter's Coffee. Open 7 days a week.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
Everyone loves local sports and, of course, loves ice cream. And the best ice cream on the planet is Handel's Homemade Ice Cream. Open late every day of the week with dozens of delicious flavors. So after your favorite team wins, head over to Handel's to celebrate with locations in St. George, Layton, and Woods Cross. You could wander around a warehouse store forever and never find the one thing that could make all the difference. A helpful face? Now that's something to consider. Everything your local Bucks A stands for is written on our faces. Welcoming, neighborly, knowledgeable. When you're in need of a helpful face, visit one of our 3 Southern Utah locations.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
We are Utah's financial outfitter, and we're here when it's time for your business to climb higher. Cass Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
As multiple generation builders exclusively in southern Utah, Devin, Craig, and James Sullivan of S&S Homes were born in St. George and have been building exceptional homes since 1980. S&S Homes has 8 neighborhoods with homes for all stages of life. If you're ready to take a tour of one of our move-in ready homes, visit sshomes.info.
Nets on Fire is the place to hoop in Southern Utah. Elevate your game with group or individual training with elite coaching. Hustle to netsonfire.org to learn more and see why so many rising stars hoop at Nets. Nets on Fire, building champions on and off the court.
Relatives coming to visit, not enough room, or maybe you're looking to host a family reunion and need a house with a pool. Well, Red Rock Vacation Rentals has got you covered. From 2-bedroom condos to 10-bedroom luxury homes, they truly have something for everyone. Plan your perfect getaway or staycation. Visit St. George, Utah, vacationrentals.com.
We love giving back to our community, and over the years, we have provided vehicles for families in need, supported local charities, and helped train our first responders. Dealer Collision, your place for collision repair.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Ciao, freshly baked bread piled with Italian-style meats. Hey, hand-sliced veggies. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yeah. So what if I am? Jimmy John's. Order online or on the app.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. Welcome back into the Boulevard Home Game of the Week and into the Rally Stop halftime show. Rally Stop wants to remind you there's no better place to refuel than Rally Stop after cheering on your favorite team. So stop on in, grab gas, your favorite soda, some snacks, all your post game celebration needs. The Crimson Cliffs state champion cheerleaders out there doing their halftime routine as the Crimson Cliffs drill team, with the drill team state happening right now up in UVU. The cheerleaders giving us their show tonight. Now, let's talk about this first half of play a little bit here, Ben, as we hop into some of the things that we saw through the first half. What are your first initial thoughts?
Well, I think when you look at the scoring right out of what jumps off the stat sheet is that they've got 6 players who scored for Snow Canyon, and 4 of those had at least 6 points. You see the balanced scoring. Owen Mackey leading the way with 11, and Owen Iloa with 8, and a couple of guys, Smith and Kelsch, with 6. I mean, they've done it at every level. They've done it in transition. They've done it in half court. They've done it on defense. They've done it on offense. And then you look at Crimson, who I think you wipe away that first half or that first quarter. They have a 19-point second quarter. And I think if you could just have gotten 12 to 14 points in that first quarter, you might have been okay. But 19 is going to have to be the minimum of what you get the rest of the way to really be able to get back into this game. I think they've got to come out and start really quick in this second half, because if not, Snow Canyon just has the capability and the players to pull away. And if you let this thing, high school basketball games are just so short, even with the shot clock, if you let this thing stick around in the mid-teens all the way to the middle of the fourth quarter, then I think the nail is going to be in the coffin, whether anybody knows it or not. But if you can come out and you can actually disrupt with maybe a little bit of trap, force some turnovers. We've not seen more than 1 turnover for this Snow Canyon team, while Crimson has done a good job of giving it away. And again, that was a problem that started in that Dixie game. But I really think if you can get a quick start in this second half for Crimson, and really Snow Canyon, it's just more of the same. Hey, keep taking care of the ball. Keep finding the open guy. Keep finding the mismatch. And if they can do that, then I think this one's going to be in their favor.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I like what you kind of mentioned early on about the balanced scoring, and that's one thing that Snow Canyon's done really well with so far, and that's across both the first and second quarter here. Not one person is doing too much, and that even includes Owen Mackey. Yeah, he had his 7 in the first quarter and thrown an extra 4 in the second, but again, that doesn't feel like it's too much. You look at the Crimson side, you have Sean Feltz leading all scorers with 10, which is great. You love that. And we had talked about that as one of the Team D Auto Sales keys to the game is work it through Feltz, get it down low to Feltz. That is a big key for them. But then you look outside of that, you have Drake Carroll with 5 as your next highest, and then basically a couple baskets here or there by some of the other guys. And right now, if you want it all to work through Feltz, then that's fine. But right now, Feltz isn't hitting everything.
No, a little, and obviously when you have the kind of games that you've had the last 2 weeks, every day in practice they're scheming, trying to find ways to stop you. So then becomes, at this point of the season, it becomes about the counter, right? Being a little more patient in that post, making sure that they're good post entries as all that attention is called upon the big fella. But, look, I think the only thing that's gone according to plan at this point is that we expected a dunk from Owen Mackey and a dunk from Sean Feltz. Of course, every dunk this year is going to get you 1 free hour of jump Monday through Thursday when we mention this.
That's right.
No, I'm sorry, when you purchase it, you're going to get $10 off in the arcade. That's right. What it is now. That's right. Yep. So we've already got that. We got 2 dunks. That's about the only thing that I thought would go according to plan, and has.
Yeah, exactly. And they've done that, and they, both great dunks. I feel like, I'll say this, Owens was a little more of a highlight reel. He had a hand in his face there. Sean's was still good. Any dunk is good, on the fast break for Sean Feltz. So we'll give them both the credit there. But again, through this first half of play, Snow Canyon has been the one putting on the show. As you mentioned, they're taking care of the ball, not turning the ball over. They are allowing scoring to come all across the roster. Right now with 6 different guys, nobody under 3 points. And that was, of course, a Damon Ends 3-pointer right there. But again, it's just been very balanced. And you've only had 7 guys touch the floor tonight, and 6 of your 7 have scored. You got to like to see that when you're Coach Ball.
Yeah, as a coach, you're thrilled. I mean, that means the offense is working. That means they're reading the right and making the right play. And so he's got to be thrilled because, you're up 13. Crimson, you go, if you're in the locker room, you're saying, Well, of course, they're going to hit a couple of shots, guys, but we just got to do our thing here in the second half. And Crimson is going to have to expend some energy in this third quarter to get back into it. And so that might be something to watch. We see it happen all the time where a team, they'll use so much energy to get back into a contest when they're down, and sometimes it's a little too tired legs there for the stretch. But we've seen the trend in the NBA. We've seen it in college. I watched a game. I don't know if you saw that Colorado State-Wyoming game the other night. I think it was an 11-point game with 1:35.
Yeah.
And Wyoming comes back and beats them.
They take it
in
to overtime. Yeah.
And so we've seen this trend at every level, college, pro, high school, where a 13-point lead isn't really that much. Now, against a team like Dixie, it feels like it's 25. But I think against most teams, 13 is, hey, let's get a couple of things to go right and play our style of basketball. And let's just chip away. We don't have to hit a home run or knock it out of the park every time down the court. Starts on defense, then it goes to rebounding, and then as the great coach Lynn Christensen says, it gets out to running. And that's the fun part in basketball.
Absolutely. I like that. Again, we want to thank some of our great sponsors here. Shout out to Down East Clothing, bringing you some of our statistics today. You can get into Down East, see their most popular feather sectional, and it's perfect for hosting your guests on game day. There's a big game coming up in about a week and a half or so.
The big game.
Maybe you need a new couch for that one. How about that? Stop on into Down East off of Red Cliffs Drive, 245 North Red Cliffs Drive to be exact. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be wrapping up the Rally Stop halftime show, so stick around with us here on the Fan Sports Network inside of our Boulevard Home Game of the Week.
You wander around a warehouse store forever and never find the one thing that can make all the difference. A helpful face? Now that's something to consider. Everything your local Bucks A stands for is written on our faces. Welcoming, neighborly, knowledgeable. When you're in need of a helpful face, visit one of our 3 Southern Utah locations. Everyone loves local sports and, of course, loves ice cream. And the best ice cream on the planet is Handel's Homemade Ice Cream. Open late every day of the week with dozens of delicious flavors. So after your favorite team wins, head over to Handel's to celebrate with locations in St. George, Layton, and Woods Cross.
Remember when Down East was all scratch and dent furniture, your go-to for dorm rooms, kids' rooms, and first homes? Well, the times have changed and Down East has changed with you. Down East is proud to offer our beautiful collection of high-quality furniture designed to elevate your space and make a statement. From stylish sofas and dining tables to cozy bedroom collections. If you're starting fresh or looking to upgrade, Down East has everything you need to create the home you'll love.
Red Ledges Dermatology and Med Spa, specializing in general and cosmetic dermatology, treating acne, rashes, warts, and more. They even do cancer screenings and offer a free chemical pill with your first appointment. So if you need dermatology, think Red Ledges Dermatology, located just off Snow Canyon Parkway, St. George.
Scooters Coffee and Hurricane is the best way to start your day or get you through your day. From breakfast sandwiches to cinnamon rolls to amazing smoothies and, of course, coffee. Anytime is a good time to sip and smile. Scooters Coffee, open 7 days a week.
Welcome back into the Rally Stop halftime show. Scores 38-25. Snow Canyon leads here at the half. You can see the Warriors there getting ready and warmed up to go for the second.
And we haven't seen Crimson yet. So that kind of tells you what that locker room's probably like at halftime.
And that was kind of an extended halftime as well. So they've been getting a lot of coaching as now they're coming out of the tunnel over there.
You know, we mentioned the great Lynn Christensen. He's actually sitting down below us. We also have the former Snow Canyon and a Dixie assistant, Coach Bundy, right here. And then you move over and we have the Pineview team down here. We have Coach Amico on their bye night. He's got the team here watching as they play Snow Canyon on Friday. And then if you look way across the way, you got Coach Judkins from Utah Tech.
Hey, Coach
on
Juddy.
an off night as he's here to watch, no doubt, one of his highly touted recruits, Owen Mackey, who was committed to come to the Trailblazers.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting time. Now, Owen has elected to serve a mission first as well, so we won't be seeing him in a Trailblazer uniform for a little while. But he's got to go serve some people in Italy first.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
And then he'll be back and play some basketball.
He kind of looks Italian.
He kind of looks like he'll pass as a local, right?
I think he'll blend right in.
Yeah.
Other than being
cool.
6'6".
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how many 6'6" guys they have running around Italy, but I'm sure that he'll blend in either way.
That pasta, he might carb load a little over there and put on a little 10 pounds of
as long as he's doing plenty of
pasta
walking.
muscle.
As long as he's doing plenty of walking, he'll be all right. Yeah, exciting times for him and a bright future for him and for a lot of the athletes here through Region 9. We've got a few different guys going on to the next level. I know over at Dixie they have, of course, Jordan Roberts and Kyle Lemke going to go over to Snow College and take their talents over there. So that's just to name a few. So a lot of different talented basketball players and athletes all across the board here in Region 9.
Yeah, and we mentioned we've got a couple of those on the court tonight. Sean Feltz, I think that's a guy who is going to end up somewhere just because of his physical, his physical size and length and skill set. We've seen him make a couple threes this year. And Crimson, I don't even know if they got a warm-up in there. They might have got a couple shots up, but that was not only a long halftime because of the routines that we saw, and a great job by these local cheerleaders and dance squads, but Crimson barely made it out here for the second half. It'll be interesting to see if that translated from the locker room onto the court.
Here we go, Warriors basketball to get things started.
And they'll start out in a zone right out of the gate here. Let's see if they can disrupt and keep this team off of the three-point line and offensive rebounding.
Mackey gets it down low to Campbell. Campbell goes up with the left hand, no good. And an over-the-back foul trying to get the ball away from Feltz.
And Campbell wants that one back. Great pass by Mackey, finding him in the open spot in the zone. And this will be interesting to watch. These fouls are so important. I've said it all year long. If you can be aggressive and attack, and you can get a team into foul trouble, man, those 5 fouls come quick, and then you get 2 freebies.
Here's Carroll, hands it off to Taylor. Taylor looking to get it into Feltz. It's tipped away by Campbell. Feltz runs out to about half-court line to come get it.
And I think you have to go back right to the big fella here.
Lindquist tries to drive in, kicks it back out to Marsden. Now Feltz. He'll hand off to Lindquist with 10 on the shot clock. Now it's Taylor over to Marsden, back to Feltz, 5. Marsden takes the deep 3. That's no good. Looked like it might have had a chance.
And that would have kind of got what they needed done, because that would have cut it to 10 right out of the gate. Defense is going to be the key for Crimson, though.
Smith hands it off over to Mackey. Crosses court to Kelsch.
Got to have those active hands and got to make it hard to pass, as we see Campbell with the inside jump hook. As much as Feltz is a right-handed player, Campbell is a left-hand player all day.
Spinning in and back out, now handing it off to Taylor.
Just not a lot of movement on Crimson, a lot of standing, watching guys dribble.
They'd like to see a little more off-the-ball movement, kind of like that as that shot's blocked away.
And this is where I'm talking about. Carroll's got to hustle back. Crimson has got to hustle back.
And on the other side, 3 is no good. It's rebounded by Mackey, offensive board. Kicks it back over to Entz. Entz crosses it to Smith. He takes the 3, no good. Rebounded by Marsden.
You're getting the stops now, Caden. It's can you capitalize?
Lindquist takes it to the baseline and dumps it off to Carroll. Reach and foul.
And something to watch there. That's 2 team fouls. You can see these are fouls that really weren't called in the first half, and I think this will be something to watch. Is can they continue to be aggressive and get 3 more fouls in the next couple of minutes?
Yeah, it's starting to tighten it up a little bit
because then
more.
that makes everything hard. If you can get that so that they have to play on their heels, which right now they don't have to.
Feltz down low, no good, and it's tipped out of bounds. It'll be Warrior basketball.
And this is where I'd love to see Feltz reverse pivot, open up chest to the basket, shot fake, jab. He's so skilled and gifted. He's got good footwork. Be a little more patient. You know you're the focus of the defense.
Owen Mackey, ball on the left wing. Hands off to Smith. Into the corner now as Entz gets Taylor off his feet, steps inside the three-point line. Shot's no good. Here come the Mustangs. Marsden, he'll take the 3 on the pull-up jumper, no good, and it's rebounded by the Warriors.
And good looks so far for Crimson. These are shots they're going to have to make in order to make a run here.
Mackey with the ball up top, hands off to Smith.
They continue to stick with this zone, Caden.
Down low is Campbell. Easy shot there for Carter Campbell for 2. Campbell, only player to score so far here in the second half between either team. Ball is tipped out of bounds. It will be Mustang basketball up by the scores table.
42-25. Crimson has yet to score here in this second half. As we see Steele Barbin come on for, it looks like maybe Marsden's got a jammed finger or
it looked like
a
he was
hurt
holding
wrist
it.
of some kind.
Carroll with the ball up top. Hands off to Lindquist, and he will now take control of the offense.
And that's where you have to be a threat. If a guy's not going to guard you and they have your hands down, you got to be able to rise up and shoot it.
Great move down low to get Carroll open.
Well, we saw them start the game with that post-up of Carroll, and they've come back to it as they cut it to 15 now, almost halfway through the third quarter.
Smith hands off to Mackey. Mackey crosses court to Kelsch. Kelsch in the left corner brings it back up top to Smith. Mackey finds Entz, and Entz will back it out. Doesn't want to go up against Feltz down low. Kelsch on the three, no good. Rebounded by Steele Barbin into the hands of Feltz.
And they've gotten good stops, far more stops than they had in that first half.
Taylor takes the three. That's no good, and a foul is called. Got to go against Steele Barbin.
Got to be a little more disciplined on this offensive end to get, you're going to get those looks every time. When you're down 15, you have to get it into the big fella. You have to get wide open. You got to make them play defense so that you're not sitting on defense on the other end the entire second half.
Taylor over to Barbin. Now Lindquist dumps off.
And Lindquist I was going to say, he's got to look to shoot at this point, because he's sitting there wide open, but you have to be a threat. If you're going to shoot it, you got to shoot it.
Smith on the other side for the Warriors. Here's Reggie Mackey. No good there. Taylor with the rebound for the Mustangs. Here comes Carroll. Kicks it over to Barbin. He takes the three. That's no good. Rebound
They've
Warriors.
got to get back, Caden. We've said it all game.
Mackey right there with the dunk. And a timeout is taken.
And that's just too easy as we see the Holbrook replay here. Will we pick it up? Great shot by Barbin there, but nobody hustling back.
Just Owen Mackey there getting ready for the dunk. And yeah, that's one of those plays, as you kind of mentioned. Nobody's there getting back on the defensive side. Take this moment to thank our sponsor, UD & Associates, for great service and rates on home, auto, and life insurance. Call Luke today, 435-251-9102 for a free quote and see how much you can save. Again, it's now 44 to 27.
17-point game, 3:32 left here in the third. As a coach, you're just pulling your hair out because sometimes it feels like nothing's going right. But you've got to be more disciplined on offense, and then on defense, you've got to finish every play. You don't have the equity in the game at this point to really mess around and go after rebounds halfway or not hustle back in transition. But you see how easy that was for Snow Canyon. It was just one outlet, bounce pass, and a two-handed dunk.
Feltz nearly losing it on a handoff pass to Barbin. Barbin gets it back now into the hand of Lindquist. Barbin, he'll take the three from deep. That's no good. Rebounded by Reggie Mackey. Kelsch gets it up top to Owen Mackey.
And I think this is something you're going to see, Caden, where a lot of teams from this point on are going to try and really zone up Crimson because of how disruptive it's been to Sean Feltz.
Mackey up top, dumps it off to Kelsch, who brings it right back. Looking down low. Alley-oop! No! They nearly got the reverse alley-oop. Owen Mackey still cleans it up for the basket.
And that's a set play they've run for a couple of years, that back door. Last year was Meacham throwing it to her. This year it's Entz.
And on the other side, Drake Carroll.
Back to 17, 46-29, 2.5 in the third. Every defensive stop and every basket critical for Crimson. And for Snow Canyon, just the ability to continue to add on. As we see the block shot by the big fella. Can Crimson get a timely hoop?
Taylor kicks over to Lindquist on the drive. Steps back, puts up the shot, and it's good.
And he's a guy that's got to get going right now, right? You got Carroll, who started to make some shots. You got Feltz, who you're going to need. Who's going to be that third guy? They need some points. They're back to 15. They've weathered a little bit of a storm. They've got to trim this thing down to 10 or 12.
Here's Carter Campbell down low. Feltz going up against him. And it's Campbell, good for 2.
And it's incredible how much Snow Canyon has been able to score in the paint compared to how they were able to score so easily from the three-point line in the first matchup.
Well, that's 10 points right now for Carter Campbell as well. All of them coming from down low. And that shot's good from Drake Carroll.
Offensively, things starting to happen for Crimson. Can they do what they need to do defensively with a 15-point ball game to get back into this? Just to put a little fear, just to make things a little bit interesting.
Campbell put on the brakes and got Sean Feltz off his feet. Feltz landed a little bit on the back there.
Great up and under. You can see what they've been able to talk about on the Snow Canyon end. Shot fake, get guys in the air. They want to block shots. And if I was 6'11", I'd want to block shots too. But you also don't have to. Just be disruptive and trust that your teammates will get the rebound.
Right.
And we see Britton Phillips in for the first time. Had a little bit of an ankle injury midway through the season.
And that shot's good off the inbound play for Snow Canyon for another basket. Makes it 50-33. Barban swinging it around. It's Lindquist down low to Feltz. Feltz will go up with it and 1.
And they really needed that as we see it cut to 35-50. Snow Canyon on top with 54 seconds left. 14 fouls. We thought that might be a bigger deal as Feltz has a chance to go here for the completion of the and 1. And this would cut it to 14. Maybe get 1 stop, maybe get 1 basket, get it to 12. We've talked about that, how critical that is. You certainly don't want to be down big with 4 minutes left, as that point is going to be the ship sailing out in the harbor and the people on the beach waving goodbye.
Mackey brings the ball up. It's back over to Mackey.
Looks like a little bit of a set play designed here to get Mackey maybe the back door again.
Here's Reggie, 3. It's good, Reggie Mackey. And on the other side, another quick 3 and a put back is good by Britton Phillips.
15-point game here. Got to get a stop if you're Crimson. Snow Canyon a chance to push this thing heading into the 4th as we find Mackey out top against Nelson.
Swinging it around into the corner. Here's Reggie Mackey again. No good there. But the offensive board by Trey Kelsch. And now Owen Mackey with the wide open 3. That's no good. Rebounded by Sean Feltz. Here come the Mustangs on the half-court heave.
Yeah.
No good.
And they dodged a bullet there for Crimson because that's the one guy you don't want to leave open is Owen Mackey with a chance to test the weather, the barometric pressure, and throw up a 3.
And with that, 53-38 as we step into the 4th quarter after the break here on the Fan Sports Network.
This cheesesteak is so freshly grilled, you can still hear it sizzling.
I can hear it too.
Me too.
Actually, it's the
Hello? Cheesesteak?
grill.
Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Fabulous Freddy's is the locals' choice for a full-service car wash. It's fast. Have your car washed in just 20 minutes or less. Fabulous Freddy's always keeps it clean inside and out with 2 Southern Utah locations as well as in Vegas, Lehigh, and Sandy.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home because home is who we are.
Welcome back into it here. 53-38, the Warriors lead as we head into the 4th quarter on the Fan Sports Network. And Crimson Cliffs will have the ball to start things off.
Chance for Crimson to get a quick basket, cut it to 13, maybe even cut it to 12. As we see Noah Nelson, McKay Lindquist, looks like we have Travis Murdoch back on the court, and Britton Johnson. We've got, we have 3 sophomores and 2 seniors. This is a lineup we have not seen this season for Crimson.
Lindquist, he'll take the 15-footer. There's nothing there. Nelson will grab the rebound for the Mustangs.
I like the attack. I think at this point, Crimson, you've got to find a way to get it to Feltz for the jump hook, as Owen Aloha cannot contain him down on the block. And it's a 13-point game, Caden. The number to watch is that 8 to 10. They've got to have it to that about, 5-6 minutes. Trapping defensive pressure here from Crimson.
Kick out. Cross court over to Reggie Mackey.
And a little more intention on the Crimson defense right now. They're flying around finally.
And Mackey with the impressive move under the legs, misses the shot, gets the offensive rebound again.
And it's offensive rebounding out of a zone. One of the toughest things to do. You have to find a guy, even if it's not yours.
And it looks like they'll call the timeout with a little bit of a sloppy play there by the Warriors. Called the timeout just to try to clean things up and say, all right, guys, let's reset. Let's play some good basketball here.
Look, I know all these guys want to save timeouts for, when they need them. But, boy, a timeout can be a great chance to reset, a great chance to talk to your guys and say, hey, look, settle in. Here's the play we're going to draw, and get a couple of points here when it is critical to push this thing further out.
And again, 53-40 on your Wilkinson's House of Lighting scoreboard.
How about that move by Owen Mackey, though? For those listening on the radio on the Fan Sports Network, he was on kind of that mid-post. Sean Feltz at his back, and he was dribbling with his right hand and went around his back through his leg with the same hand and turned around, spotted up, and just missed what I think might have been the highlight of the night.
It very well could have been in the student section over there for Snow Canyon. They saw it. They all said, oh, man. They saw it happen.
And sometimes when you hear the crowd go, whoa, it's hard to focus in on making the shot, as we see Snow Canyon here with the ball underneath the hoop.
The inbound goes into the hands of the Mustangs. Here's Noah Nelson on the fast break. Tries to go up strong with it, and he'll get fouled. It goes to the line.
And I can't say it enough. The jump stop has got to find a place back in high school basketball. Jump stop, shot fake, then go up, draw the foul, and potentially have the and one. It's just hard to go. These guys are so athletic now. Make them react to you.
Nelson at the line. First one off the front of the rim, no good. Free throws brought to you by Fabulous Freddy's, 2 locations across Southern Utah, and voted best of Southern Utah for car wash, soda, and cookie sandwiches. Again, 2 great locations, and don't forget to check out Ike's, located on their Bluff Street location.
Chance to get it to 12 here, Caden. We've talked about that number. The next one is 10, then you get it to 8, and then anything can happen.
And there it is, Noah Nelson.
53-41, 6:40 left, fourth quarter, my apologies. Defensive pressure is turned up a notch.
Trey Kelsch up top, picked up by Carroll. Swings back over to Smith. Smith up now to Kelsch. And in the middle is Campbell looking down low for Mackey. Mackey dribbles it right back out. 13 on the shot clock. Reggie Mackey now, right side, takes up to his brother, swings it across. It's tipped out by Carroll, stays down here with the Warriors.
Gets the crowd involved a little bit there. You got to be shot ready on that front row.
Got to be on your toes. Got to be on your toes. 7 on the shot clock. Reggie Mackey takes the inbound. Goes down to 5. Smith, he'll take the 3. No good. Rebounded by the Mustangs.
But, Caden, you see how much time they're eating off the clock. They're making Crimson play defense.
And it's smart basketball right there. Use the clock to your advantage. Swing it around, Carroll on the baseline. He takes the 17-footer, no good. Rebounded by Mackey.
And this illustrates my point. They make them play defense for 24 seconds. Crimson comes down and makes them play defense for 6.
And again, Snow Canyon here, as you had mentioned, and I assume here they'll slow it down a little bit as they pass around the perimeter.
And it's just being patient, finding your shot, right? They're not in a hurry.
Smith looking down low, decides to not go that direction. Now it's a Reggie Mackey on the open 3. There's nothing there. Little overshot, and it will stay down with the Warriors.
And the hardest rebound to corral as a defensive player is an air ball. So
you always expect it to hit rim,
so
right?
So unpredictable.
You never know. 6 seconds left on the shot clock here. Damon Ince is checked in for Reggie Mackey. Down low, and a quick foul off the inbound play. goes against Sean Feltz.
And I always get a little suspicious when the ref in front of the coach calls it from across the court when there's another ref standing 6 feet away. But I think that's one where you're pinned underneath. You're just kind of belling a guy out, even a great player like Owen Mackey, as we see him knock down the first one to push it to 13.
First points here in the fourth quarter for the Warriors.
The defense has been much better in the second half, and really from the second quarter on. It's that first quarter that if Crimson doesn't find a way to get back into this ball game, they'll look at that as the difference maker.
Carroll finds Noah Nelson. Good play, just didn't get it high enough off the backboard. Missed opportunity there for the Mustangs. Tipped ball goes out of bounds off the hand of Drake Carroll, and the Warriors retain possession.
And it's hard to have to be perfect at every stage now, because for this next 5 minutes, you have to be perfect in order to get back into this game. Snow Canyon can make mistakes, as we see Owen Mackey shaking and baking and going right at the big fella. Coach Judkins up there in the top row has got to be salivating over what he's going to have at Utah Tech, whether it's in 2 years or 3 or 4 more years too.
Absolutely. On the drive.
Now see, that's a great
the
play.
Basket's good.
Shot
Phillips.
fake, square up, go to your strong hand or go fake away from your strong hand and finish with the left.
Smith in the corner for 3. Nothing there for Dre Smith. Here comes Feltz on the drive. He puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Noah Nelson. Mustangs. The turnover, though.
And Sean Feltz has got to stop complaining to the ref. Get in the play. They can't go back in time. You can still impact things defensively, as you see Mackey waltz down the baseline and score easily, as we're in the danger zone now for Crimson. Snow Canyon is thinking, let's make this an example.
Feltz is down low for the Mustangs. Missed that shot, but the putback Carroll's no good. Gets his own rebound, dumps it off to Nelson. He gets it to go.
.59-45, just under 4 minutes left. It's going to take some defense now, as I've been sounding like a broken record. Snow Canyon, just keep doing what you're about to do right. Whoa.
Damon Entz with a rattle 3 that rattles on the way out, no good. Here's Carroll on the drive. Soft touch isn't soft enough. Offensive rebound and put back by Britton Phillips is no good. He'll head to the line for 2.
And great job by the sophomore Britton Phillips, number 33, being active on defense, being aggressive, and then defensive or offensively just going and getting rebounds and being in the right place. A great spark off the bench for Crimson.
No good on the first end of the Fabulous Freddy's free throws. Noah Nelson will head to the bench, and Michaela Lindquist checks back into the game. Damon Entz will also head out, and Reggie Mackey back in for the Warriors. The second free throw is good. 60 points.
Back to 13. It's going to take some turnovers. It's going to take some big shots, a couple of threes potentially.
Kelsch crosses court. And kickball.
And for Snow Canyon, I think you can just kind of take your time, make them play defense.
Right.
Work it around for the shot that you want.
Inbounding, Snow Canyon. 59-46, 3:19 left to play in the game.
As you can hear the Snow Canyon crowd saying our house, and Crimson responds
whose house, our house,
with the ring on their finger, obviously referring to football.
And the 3 is good by Dre Smith. Takes up 62 now for the Warriors.
And that should probably do it, barring some a miracle of some kind.
Feltz hands off to Lindquist. Lindquist steps it right back and gets into the hands of Feltz, swinging it across right side, now down low. Phillips backs it out. Murdoch 3. And it's good. Cache Valley Bank 3-pointer.
A glimpse into the future there. But this is what I'm talking about. The kick out of the double team, right? You get the guys to suck down, and then you just hit a big shot. Like, Make basketball easy. Don't try and force it. Let the game come to you.
Owen Mackey with the ball up top. He's picked up by Feltz. Gets it off to Kelsch. 2:20 left to play in this game as Kelsch dribbles it inside and brings it right back out. Down to the hands of Smith. Ball is on the ground, stolen by Murdoch. Here's Lindquist on the drive, and it's blocked by Mackey Mill, the foul.
And as we look at the replay, it looks like I don't know if he really had to do much to block that. I think it was just the extra antics of trying to swat it so hard that drew the ref's attention there.
And there was, the right hand goes up for the block, the left hand goes down to stable yourself.
And we can see Coach Ball does not like the call at all. And I don't know. I mean, it's up. You got 2 minutes left. You're up 12. I don't know if this is the one to die on, but I think he's saying maybe they fouled down here and they didn't foul down there, or maybe the ref had it backwards. But I think for Crimson, you're thinking, man, we'll take anything at this point, because they have a chance to cut it to 11 with 2 minutes left, and just hangs on the touching it all shot by Lindquist. That'll be his 7th. And a little bit of a full court action press. I think this is the way to go. You're going to have to do something. Maybe get them to quick shoot.
Looking down low is Campbell. Kicks out to Mackey. Mackey drives in, pushes it up. Not good. Gets his own rebound. Puts up another shot, and that one is good.
And you see how defensively they've done a good job, but they've just not rebounded. Something that they struggled with, as we see a circus pirouetting shot. And Carroll is looking at his wrist saying, somewhat of armed robbery there.
64-53, 1:30 left to play.
And I think you got to think about, it depends on how this goes.
No
offensive
good,
rebound
offensive
again.
Rebounds. Campbell kicks it out, and Mackey will slow things down.
You either have to foul at this point, or you have to be trapping and trying to get a steal, and you'll take a foul. You need 4 more to get back in the game here.
Mackey dribbles it back out. 20 seconds counting down on that shot clock. Campbell drives in, not there. Tipped it around, and Mustang basketball.
Going to need a 3 here and a quick something.
But now with under a minute to play, this is some tough basketball here for the Mustangs. Ball's out. 3 is away, no good. Rebounded by Trey Kelsch and the Warriors. And he slows it down. 40 seconds on the clock. I think both teams have accepted the fate of this one. Reggie Mackey with the ball up top, back and forth with Kelsch.
And really, look, tip your cap to Snow Canyon. They came out of this really with a great game plan against Feltz, who had been on fire for the last 2 weeks. And it looks like maybe they found something, as we see Mackey fire up one, and guess what? Another offensive rebound, Caden. I count that as 8 offensive rebounds in the second half for Snow Canyon, as they're going to pull away on this one, 64-53 here at home. And suddenly Crimson has lost 2 in a row to 2 really good teams, by the way.
Absolutely. And again, final score 64-53. Snow Canyon gets the win. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show, give you some of our final thoughts of this ball game, go over some of the stats and more when we return here on the Fan Sports Network. Stick around.
Nets on Fire is the place to hoop in Southern Utah. Elevate your game with group or individual training with elite coaching. Hustle to netsonfire.org to learn more and see why so many rising stars hoop at Nets. Nets on Fire, building champions on and off the court.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Ciao, freshly baked bread piled with Italian-style meats. Hey, hand-sliced veggies. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yeah. So what if I am? Jimmy John's. Order online or on the app.
Own property and want to rent it? Then you need the right team with 11 years of local experience, a staff of over 25 employees, and a 4.9 Google rating. Aim to maximize your rental income and find quality tenants while keeping turnover low to increase your revenue and truly maintain your property. Learn more at redrockpropertymanagement.com.
Create your own relaxing, comfortable space. Boulevard Home offers the guaranteed best prices on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. And buy with no interest financing. Shop Boulevard Home, because home is who we are.
Welcome back in, everybody, here to the Boulevard Home Game of the Week and into the Johnson Pediatric Dentistry post-game show. Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, you can save on that new patient special. Give them a call, 435-628-0511. Just $79 for the new patient special, cleaning, exam, and x-rays. All right, Ben, as we hop on into it, the post-game show, 64-53. Owen Mackey leads the way with 23 points for the Warriors.
And really did it in so many different and creative ways. Yes, there were the 2 dunks. Yes, there was the open threes. But he just has a way of impacting the game, whether it's offensive rebounding, whether it's his passing, whether it's his post play. Really just a difference maker. And you expect that from a Division I athlete who has earned that right to play at the next level. For Crimson, I think they're going to be extremely disappointed. They lose by 11, and that first quarter was really where Snow Canyon kind of came out and threw a couple haymakers, and they weren't dramatic, reach back and just swing at everything. They were just well executed, took what they gave them. And so after a great rebound to that first half of the season, Crimson is going to have to make some adjustments now really here the rest of the way, and in different ways. We talked about Sean Feltz as one of the difference makers, and certainly the leading scorer for Crimson, coming off 3 great games, really 4, even up in Cedar. He had a big game up there. I think he had 31 or 2 up in Cedar. And now it'll be interesting to see how teams defend him and scheme him. We saw a lot of zone out of Snow Canyon. We saw a lot of double teams out of Snow Canyon. Sean will need to learn how to play out of those situations. And for Snow Canyon, look, you're in second place in the region. A little bit of a comfortable lead. You play Pineview on Friday night. You win that, and you get a little bit of breathing room, because I just don't know if anybody other than Dixie can put a chink in their armor the rest of the way. And for Crimson, you got to just regroup. I mean, two games that you just weren't your best. Turnovers crept back into it. Bad shot making, poor shot selection, really probably the best way to put it. But they find themselves at a little bit of a crossroads. They've got the tools, they have the pieces. Can they rebound? They have a fairly favorable one this Friday night against Hurricane, a team that hasn't won a region game yet, but sometimes that can be the most dangerous game.
That's absolutely true. Let's hop on into some of our awards for the night. One of those being the Findlay Subaru Star of the Game. Check out Findlay Subaru at findlaysubaru.com. And I believe you just kind of have to go with Owen Mackey here. He made some big plays. He had a few highlights, but really it just came down to he was an efficient scorer, especially down in the stretch late in the fourth quarter, finishing again with 23. But you just look at that second half alone where he doubled up from his first half again, plus a couple extra baskets as well. So, Owen Mackey's just such a proficient scorer and basketball player all around.
Great player. Yeah, 23 points, and it didn't look at all like he was forcing it. Didn't look at all like he was dominating, from start to finish. It looked just effortless.
Yeah.
And I think one of the key stats is going to be those offensive rebounds. 8 offensive rebounds for Snow Canyon in the second half. And then you look, we've talked about Sean Feltz. He scores 15, which is not bad. But between Aloha and Campbell, they have 18 points. And you could argue that they out-rebounded him as well. So, again, this will be a really interesting turning point for Crimson, because they're going to have to find creative ways to get Sean the ball. And Sean's going to have to figure out, okay, I've got to pick my spots and be a little more patient, because now I'm the focus, right? People, you're not going to score as many points as he scored and go under the radar. And not saying that he has. He's been the focus of attention, but now it's heightened. Now there's these teams that are like, well, look, we're not going to let him score 28 on us or 39 on us. But, we talked about keeping Owen Mackey to 18 to 20. he gets 23. I think where he was the most deadly was really in his passing and rebounding.
Yeah. When you see it through just the stats of the other guys on the team, I mean, the amount of guys that got scoring done, and multiple times too. Only 2 different people didn't have multiple baskets today, and that was Reggie Mackey and Damon Entz, both of which had put up a few extra baskets. They had the open looks. It just wasn't dropping for them. But either way, the point here is the facilitation was there, the open shots were there, and that was a big key to this one.
Yeah, really. And at the end of the day, you get, Mackey with 23, Campbell with 10, Smith with 11, and you have Oloa following closely. You have almost 4 guys in double figures, 7 guys that score, versus, Feltz with 15, Carroll with 13 on a variety of shots. But I think you're going to have to strip this game down into the little things, which are offensive rebounds and turnovers.
Yeah.
And then that first quarter was kind of playing catch up for the rest of the 3 quarters.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, turnover is a big thing, especially for Crimson. That was one of their Achilles heels in this one here tonight. One last award I want to hand out here is our Jersey Mike sub of the game. You got to go with Carter Campbell on this one.
I think so too.
He was phenomenal, especially down low against Sean Feltz. And, offensively, he was able to get it done. Sean only had 15, and this is a guy that can go for 30 plus. So both defensively and offensively was able to get some things done.
A great pick. And really, the 10 points is just half of it. His rebounding and defense.
Mm-hmm. And especially offensive rebounds. We talked about that.
Yeah, he kept possessions going. And Crimson, I think what they're going to find as they look at the tape in the second half is they played good defense.
Yeah.
But when you allow 8 offensive rebounds, that becomes problematic because you wear out and you give them second looks. And most of those second looks are around the hoop. And so you're basically giving away layups.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, this one has reached its end, 64-53, Snow Canyon. And now that we're into the second half of region play, again, this is kind of to wrap up the series here. Snow Canyon takes that series. They get 2-0 against Crimson Cliffs, one of them in dramatic fashion and another one where they put their nose to the grindstone and got to work early.
Yeah, great job by Snow Canyon here, and certainly it'd be interesting to see what happens. Are you calling that game Friday night?
I am calling the Hurricane
Hurricane Desert Hills.
Desert Hills game as well.
Yeah, that'll be that. Okay, so I'm sorry. Crimson has Cedar on Friday night.
Crimson has Cedar.
You're right.
Correct.
Yep. And that'll be interesting. The Hurricane game that you're calling with Desert Hills is, I believe, Caleb Jackman will be.
Yeah,
he's on a little bit of a minutes restriction.
He's back on limited minutes, but hopefully he should be backing into it in full capacity. I know Hurricane fell to Dixie today.
And that ended up being 81-49, which I think was closer than the first one. It looks like the Desert Hills, as we go to the Nets on Fire scoreboard real quick as we exit, it looks like that's a close contest.
And no final score from that one yet, I believe, but last I saw it was pretty close there. Let's see here, with 4:45 left to go, it was 40-50 in favor of Desert Hills. So we'll see. I haven't got any updates since then, so.
Yeah, wow.
We'll keep an eye on that one, see if we can get
That'll
anything.
Be an interesting one to watch for sure.
Yep.
Cedar is a good team as well.
Yeah, and we'll get those final scores posted for you over on the Fan Sports Network Instagram page. Just make sure to go over to the stories there. And while you're at it, one last thing too, go over to the Fan Sports Network stories and go vote for your Jimmy John's Highlight of the Month for January. Those are out right now. The poll is out and available tonight. So head on over there right now and vote for your favorite highlight.
Boy, we have some good ones
We've
to
got
choose
some great
from
ones.
for sure.
And I guarantee February, as we come down the stretch, we'll have some playoff basketball. We'll have some great highlights as well. So we had the opportunity with Pineview, who won it last month for the month of December. We were able to head on over to Pineview High School and give them their winnings, which was a catered lunch by Jimmy John's. So that was a good time, and I know that Coach Amico and the guys over there had a good time with that. So we'll see who wins this time. The poll's out and available. Whoever wins will get that same thing, a catered lunch by Jimmy John's.
And that looked good, too. I'll tell you, they did a good job on it.
They did a fantastic job, as always. So, all right, well, let's wrap it up from here. I want to thank Connor Collins back in the studio. making sure that we're on the radio as well as streaming live, of course. Sebastian running the camera over there for us. And, of course, for Ben Lindquist and myself, appreciate you joining us on our Boulevard Home Game of the Week here on the Fan Sports Network. We'll see you Friday night for more